So this guy is a liar. His name is Jesse. He's 26 years old when this story starts, and he's living in New Zealand. Jesse has a serious problem with lying. He's always making things up. He tells people he's a high-level manager at an oil company. He claims he owns a $1.3 million house and a $900,000 BMW. He even says he's a professional softball player for the New Zealand Black Sox. But it's all complete nonsense. In reality, he can't hold down a job and is likely living on government assistance. Then one day in 2018, Jesse gets on Tinder, swiping around, looking for someone to hook up with. That's when he comes across a woman named Grace. Grace is 21, a nice woman who's been backpacking around the world for the past year. Her latest stop is New Zealand, and she's staying in a hostel trying to meet people. So she downloads Tinder, starts swiping, she matches with Jesse. They start chatting, things seem to click, and they decide to meet up for drinks the next day. They meet, grab some drinks, get some food, and the date seems to be going well. So they keep it going and start bar hopping, hitting a few different spots and having a great time. And of course, Jesse is lying the entire time. He tells Grace he's a successful businessman, that he's related to a famous rugby player, and that he's planning to visit England, where Grace is from. Grace has no idea he's lying. In fact, she's impressed. When Jesse steps away to the bathroom, she even texts her friend saying she's on a date with a big oil executive who plans to visit England next year. After several hours together, they decide to go back to Jesse's place, and that's when everything goes out of control. Out of nowhere, Jesse suddenly snaps. He starts strangling Grace, and he doesn't stop until she dies. No one knows exactly why he did it. He was the only person there, and he's a known liar, so nothing he says can really be trusted. After killing her, Jesse stays in his apartment with her body still there. While her body is lying there, he looks up adult websites, then gets back on Tinder and starts swiping again. He even matches with another woman and arranges a date. Then he begins searching online for ways to clean up and dispose of the body. The next morning, he goes out and buys a suitcase. Then he buys cleaning supplies and rents a rug doctor machine to clean the carpet. Meanwhile, Jesse's phone, still in his apartment, is blowing up with birthday messages because it's her 22nd birthday. But every call goes to voicemail and every message goes unanswered. Jesse returns home, drops off the supplies, and crams Grace's body into the suitcase. Then he leaves it there and goes out on the Tinder date he planned the night before. On this date, he continues lying. He tells the woman he's a sales manager at Woolworths in Australia. He makes up a story about his best friend coming from Sydney to be a Crown prosecutor. Then the conversation turns strange. The woman mentions she once attended a murder trial and how sad it was. Jesse responds by telling her about a guy he supposedly knew who accidentally killed his girlfriend during rough intercourse involving strangulation, and that the guy went to prison for manslaughter. Then he adds that police dogs can only detect bodies buried less than 4 feet underground, meaning many bodies go undiscovered. At this point, about 90 minutes in, the woman is uncomfortable and decides to end the date early. Jesse offers her a ride, she refuses. He goes back home. The body is still there, inside the suitcase. He spends hours cleaning the apartment, mostly the carpet. Then he finds a luggage cart, brings it upstairs, loads the suitcase onto the cart, and wheels it out of the building. He places the suitcase into a rented car, drives to a remote area, and buries the body. Meanwhile, Grace's parents grow concerned. She hasn't posted on social media, hasn't responded to messages, and missed her birthday communications, completely out of character. They contact local police in New Zealand, who go to her hostel for a welfare check. She's not there, but all her belongings are. Police begin investigating and quickly check her social media. That's when they notice a comment from a man named Jesse, the last person to interact with her before she disappeared. They contact him. He agrees to meet and claims they went on a date but parted ways early in the evening. But police find security footage showing Jesse and Grace entering his building at 9:41 p.m. So they know he's lying. They search his rental car and apartment. Despite his cleanup efforts, they find Grace's DNA and other forensic evidence. And just like that, Jesse is arrested. He later goes to trial, found guilty, and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 17 years.